What's going on, guys? Apex here, back with another Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be actually talking about tomorrow, December 12th. Bungie did release a new update on the Bungie blog, and it's basically talking about what was supposed to be happening tomorrow and why it is no longer happening, namely the faction rally. So patch 1.1.1.1 is actually supposed to be releasing tomorrow. Server maintenance will happen from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific. Servers will be down for that duration. That's a long time for this patch, so I hope it's really worth it. We know that the Masterworks weapons are coming, and a big kind of debacle going around in the community right now, and why the faction rally was canceled, was actually because of content being locked behind a paywall, namely Curse of Osiris, that was available before Curse of Osiris was released. So just kind of a brief overview of the post that Bungie actually made themselves. It goes over the endgame features of a variety of activities and playlists that we want to remain relevant to players as they grow more powerful. In Destiny 1, as your character grew more powerful throughout each expansion, some of our best content, like Vault of Glass, was left behind and lost its relevance for players. So if you're kind of wondering where all this kind of sprang up from, is Bungie decided to do something different, and they wanted to update the raids and the content that was current and move it up as we moved along in the Destiny universe, rather than doing an Age of Triumph like event like they did in Destiny 1 to make everything suddenly relevant again. They continue, we wanted a better solution for Destiny 2 where all of our endgame activities could stay relevant as each expansion causes your Guardian to grow more and more powerful. The following were our goals when we separated normal and prestige modes. The normal Leviathan raid and normal Nightfall would always stay at power level that was accessible to all players. So by that they mean all players, as in people that bought Curse of Osiris or didn't buy Curse of Osiris. It's still doable. You can still go to the normal Nightfall and you can still do the normal Leviathan raid no matter what. However, they did lock the prestige difficulty would always rise to the new power cap, which means that you would have to buy Curse of Osiris to reach the new power cap of 330, which is what the current prestige Leviathan is right now. It could be the pinnacle of challenge with the most prestigious rewards, but it therefore would require you to own the latest expansion. As I said, that's what they were just talking about in that bullet point on their post. Additionally, the game provides seasonal, time-limited PvP playlist, Trials of the Nine, and Iron Banner. These activities and their rewards are meant to evolve each season, and they utilize new maps, so they would require you to own the latest content. To play the latest season of Iron Banner Trials and earn new rewards, players would have needed to own Curse of Osiris. However, they are changing that because of the big issue that the community brought up. Trials, namely, was one of the things that was marketed as being available in just the base game itself, and it's kind of messed up, and Bungie admitted to it being messed up, that they hid it behind a paywall being a DLC, so not all players can access it anymore, even though they were able to do it just last week. The Prestige Leviathan raid will be brought back down to power 300, so us at the 330s, now might be the time to go and actually do the Prestige raid, because, well, we're going to be incredibly overpowered now, because they're dropping it back down to power level of 300 for all players to play it. And its rewards will drop down to match the new power level. So, I'm not sure if they mean new power level as in the DLC. I doubt it. I don't actually, I'm going to correct myself right now that I read that again. So basically the rewards are going to be back to 305. So even if you did do the Prestige Nightfall, you're just going to get 305s, but it's okay because most of that stuff is cosmetic anyway. All players will regain access to the Prestige Raid, as I was saying. This will allow access to the Prestige Achievement / Trophy for all players. This will also allow all players the ability to complete the final step for the Legend of Accurus Exotic Shotgun, so that's definitely good. I'm sure a lot of players were upset that they couldn't get the achievement or trophy, and as well as not being able to finish the shotgun, because I personally haven't finished it myself, and if I didn't buy Curse of Osiris and still wanted to finish it, I'd be a little bit upset, admittedly. Trials of the Nine will only require Curse of Osiris when it features a Curse of Osiris map. For all other weeks, it will be available to all players. So this last weekend, it being on the new Mercury map, that means it would not have been available for non-Curse of Osiris owners in the future. You'd have to buy Curse of Osiris to obviously get the maps to play trial specific weekends that it's on Curse of Osiris maps. So yeah, this will allow access to Lest Ye Be Judged achievement / trophy for all players. I believe that's getting 7 wins, or it might just be going to the Spire in general. I can't remember. Trials of the Nine rewards that launched with Destiny 2 will still be accessible to all players. So it's the same rewards. However, they do go on to say new seasonal rewards that launch with Curse of Osiris, such as the new seasonal armor ornaments and the new weapons, will require ownership of Curse of Osiris. So the new hand cannon, scout, pulse, and auto, you have to get Curse of Osiris to get those, and those are 4 really good weapons. I have a review coming out on those soon. I've been waiting for the Prometheus lens to get patched, which is also going to be happening tomorrow, but we'll get into that later. The Prestige Nightfall will remain a pinnacle activity at the new 330 power cap. This means the Prestige Nightfall will require ownership of Curse of Osiris. So in order to do the Prestige Nightfall anymore, you do have to own Curse of Osiris. Because of this, we will update the Prestige achievement / trophy to only reference the Prestige raid. Moving forward, we are investigating adding a 3rd difficulty to all Prestige activities so that we could provide both a challenge that stays relevant with each new expansion and a Prestige version that is available to all players. Obviously, that's really good. So basically, it'll go to having 3 different difficulties. So if it was me, I'd just do normal, heroic, and then prestige, and then whenever a new DLC drops, the new heroic version of the raid will be introduced for the players that did not buy a specific expansion. Normal Nightfall will only require Curse of Osiris when it features a Curse of Osiris strike. For all other weeks, it will be available to all players. So just like Trials, if it includes the strike, or if it's a Curse of Osiris strike, then it's not available for that week, which is, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, because the people that do own Curse of Osiris, they want to play the new stuff as well. So I totally agree with that. Time limit events such as Iron Banner, Faction Rally, and the Dawning will be made available to all players. That is a huge deal because before all the controversy and issues that the community had and ranting and raving on YouTube, Reddit, forum posts, etc., Iron Banner, the Faction Rally, and the Dawning were actually all locked behind Curse of Osiris. If you did not own Curse of Osiris, you would not have access to any of these activities. And I personally think that's super unfortunate, and that is obviously why the Faction Rally is getting canceled this week. I did mention that earlier, but it is true. The Faction Rally is getting canceled this week. I would assume it would be probably ready for next week. They might just have to tweak a few things, or maybe they just didn't want to launch it with all these other issues. We will be postponing tomorrow's Faction Rally to ensure all of our players can access the activity and the appropriate rewards. Iron Banner and Faction Rally rewards that launch with Destiny 2 will still be accessible to all players. However, the new seasonal ornaments will require ownership of Curse of Osiris. We expect these changes to go live tomorrow at the end of scheduled maintenance to deploy update 1.1.1.1. Moving forward, we are also looking to improve on heroic strikes with new challenges, new modifiers, and free access to all players. That is also huge because if you didn't know, you can't actually play heroic strikes unless you own Curse of Osiris, and that's kind of a big deal for a lot of players. And it is also really amazing that they did mention new modifiers. I brought that up in my Let's Talk video, that heroic strikes do need modifiers. And Rick Kakis, or Kakis HD on YouTube, he tweeted today saying something along the lines of Bungie needs to stop fixing on things that should have, or they need to fix the things that should have been in the game, but eventually they need to stop backtracking, fixing these things, and introduce new and innovative things, which I 100% agree with. Bungie is stuck right now, kind of backtracking a lot, trying to fix a lot of things that should have been in there in the first place, but Bungie is at least being more open and communicating with us, so we'll see what happens from here. So that was basically all that was said in the Bungie blog post. That was updated today. Again, just a quick reminder, patch will start tomorrow, which means servers will be down from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Take that as you will, to your respected time zone. It is a pretty long servers down patch, but it will be introducing the Masterworks weapons, which is a huge bonus for a lot of us. That I assume it would be Curse of Osiris only, because it requires Curse of Osiris to get ornaments and other seasonal rewards, as well as, oh, I don't know, we'll see. When I make my Masterworks weapons review video, I will be sure to mention it there, and I'll figure out if it is available for everybody or for Curse of Osiris owners only. They talked about lowering the prestige level, so for us Curse of Osiris owners, the prestige nightfall or the prestige raid is going back down to 300, so it should be super easy to run through, not super easy, but it should be relatively easier to run through. So I'll probably be doing that so I can get some of that cool looking armor. Before it was just too hard for too little, but now, I mean, it's a raid that basically normal levels, since we're going to be 30 light levels higher, and you get gold and purple armor, so that's going to be pretty nice. That's basically all that was really said. Those were the big topic. Oh, and then Faction Rally was canceled. That's probably the biggest, because a lot of people, including myself, were looking forward to that tomorrow. As far as content, I will be having a raid layer, kind of an impressions video. I have not beaten it yet. I just spent 6 hours in the raid layer today, and unfortunately was not able to finish. So we'll see if I can finish it hopefully this week, since the Faction Rally will be down, everything else will be down. I also have that Trials Weapons review that I mentioned earlier, now that Prometheus Lens will be gone. In addition, in the blog post, they did also, or no, not in the blog post, in a tweet, they mentioned that Prometheus Lens is actually going to be nerfed to oblivion because it was such a short time to fix it. So Prometheus Lens went from the most overpowered broken weapon in the game to it's probably going to be the worst weapon in the game. But I'd hold on to it because in January they're actually going to release another patch for it to update it with a true play-tested version of Prometheus Lens. So until January, I'd keep it in your vault. Bungie did openly admit that it's going to be insanely nerfed, insanely. If they came out and said it specifically, then you know it's going to be bad. I'm going to be holding on to mine, like I said. I recommend you do the same. And rambling mode's been engaged, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good night.